Happy New Year. This is Whispering Whim, and I'm here with yet another grocery haul. It might be my first one for 2021, but I think I've been doing this for a few years now. How crazy is that? Anyways, I have a lot to unbag today, so let's jump right in. First up, we have a nice soft loaf of sourdough bread. This is my favorite kind of bread, and my guy requested steak sandwiches. And sourdough bread is my bun of choice, even though it's not technically a bun, right? But I think that the sharpness of the flavor goes well with the peppers and the onions and the cheese. So picked up a loaf of that. Next up, got a giant clove. Well, this is more than a clove, head of garlic. There we go. Last month, I bought the pre-peeled garlic, and I actually enjoyed using it quite a bit. But I was a little lazy today, and I didn't go all the way to Winco for my little pickup shopping. So regular garlic it is for me for a little bit. Basically, I do like my bulk shopping at Sam's Club, and I usually get like all my small stuff at Winco. But Winco is like a 25-minute drive away, and then it's really busy inside, and you gotta wait in line forever, and then you gotta drive back, and I just didn't feel like it today. I regret it a little bit, just because the local grocery store, this is from Save Mart, is definitely more expensive, so I didn't get a lot of my small stuff, but I got plenty at Sam's Club. Anyways, this can that I'm holding in my hand is some San Lorenzo style whole tomatoes. I got a food processor for Christmas this year. It's huge. I don't know where I'm gonna store it exactly, but I'm excited to use it. And one of the things I'm going to do is, if you've watched enough of these, you know that I make like a pizza cauliflower casserole type thing, and it uses pizza sauce. And usually pizza sauce comes in a tiny jar because when you're putting it on a pizza, you don't need that much. And I distinctly knew that pizza sauce and like spaghetti sauce were different. Wasn't always sure how or why. So I researched it, and basically a spaghetti sauce is simmered, right? It's cooked on the stovetop, or maybe in a crock pot, depending on your style, right? But you cook it low and slow for a long period of time. Pizza sauce, on the other hand, is actually raw tomatoes, or in the case of canned tomatoes, semi-cooked, because they are kind of like usually flash broiled or something before they can them. And because they're not cooked, the flavor profiles are obviously different. Long story short, I can use my new food processor to chop up those tomatoes for me and hopefully make me a big old container of pizza sauce so that I can make my cauliflower casserole pizza. It's a weird dish. My cauliflower pizza casserole more often, because it's kind of pricey to get those little jars. But even at the expensive Save Mart, ironic choice of name, this whole can was still only like $3. So anyways, moving right along, we've got a nice big old jar of stuffed pimiento queen olives. These are mainly purchased for the juice, but we eat the olives too. You guys probably well know by now that my guy likes martinis and he loves them very, very dirty, which means it's like, this much, maybe like, I don't know, half a cup, quarter of a cup of olive juice in one little drink. Next up, we've got that s'mores mix. I knew I shouldn't have. It's definitely not diet friendly, but this stuff is really delicious. Good quality chocolate on it. The marshmallows are still nice and chewy, right? Graham crackers are, they're graham crackers, but it's a very tasty little snack. Following that, we've got a big old bag of Stacy's pita chips. In the grocery store, like a regular grocery store, you can get like a tiny bag for $3. And at Sam's Club, you can get this jumbo bag for like $4.50. So that's definitely a pretty good deal. And then following that, we got, let's see if I can get it out here. A giant box of blueberry muffins. I've decided to kind of change up my guy's weekend breakfast routine. I was getting like those Little Debbie donuts, or maybe not Little Debbie brand, but no, they were. Anyways, I've been getting him those little donuts for like, I don't know, a year straight now, so this should be a nice little alternative. And I also found out that like real donuts that you get from a donut shop, right? They actually freeze really well. My guy has had a lot of long weekends for the holidays, right? His workplace gives him New Year's off, Christmas Eve off, all of those, right? So he was home a lot, and I went down to the donut shop, and it's just easier to get like a full dozen, which would have gone bad, or stale at least, not necessarily bad, on us before we got through it all. But I knew I was going to try to freeze them, and let me tell you, they freeze wonderfully. I was super surprised. The only downside is you need a lot of space. And right after a grocery haul like this, my freezer definitely won't have the space for all of that. Finishing off that bag I had right here is another box of that bubble fruit cups. I think I got one of these either 1 or 2 months ago, and I think the people who were curious already asked me, but I'll go ahead and tell you what they're kind of like. So it's supposed to be peach, strawberry, and lemonade flavor, right? And within all of the fruit, there are little tiny boba. They're kind of the popping boba, so juice-filled kind. And it's fun to eat. The only negative trait I would really give it is that weird combination of flavors, peach, strawberry, and lemonade. Tastes good, but everything tastes the same somehow. So the boba tastes the same, and the peaches taste the same, and the juice inside tastes the same. It's a good flavor, but with all that action going on, I would have hoped for like, little pops of different flavor, right? But, I guess that's pretty good for a pre-packaged product, right? Next up, we have a big old bag of onions. I'm always impressed on how long onions actually last if you put them away in a proper place. You want them to be well ventilated, kind of leave them in the mesh bag, right? Cool, one of the darker areas in the kitchen. But if you do all of those things, one bag, I think I've had like a single bag stay fresh enough to use for like a month and a half. So that's pretty crazy. Next up, we have some tomato paste, double concentrated. The tomatoes in the can for my pizza sauce should be tomato-y enough. But when I was reading, how to make the sauce online, some recipes included tomato paste, some didn't. I figured I'd have it on hand. I can always add it a little bit to taste as I'm going along, right? Because I'm planning on, stretching out that batch as big as I can. And then finishing out this bag, we have a crinkly bag, crinkle, of egg noodles. So I'm kind of in a homemade kick right now, like making pizza sauce from scratch. And one of my other plans is to make chicken noodle soup from scratch, which is pretty easy to do, but I'm taking it one step further, and I'm gonna make the chicken stock as well. I bought a rotisserie chicken a little while ago, and I'm keeping the carcass, and we're gonna simmer that and hopefully make a chicken stock. I've actually never made one from scratch before, which is kind of odd. It seems like something I would have done by now, but there's a first time for everything. Next up, let's go ahead and tackle this Jenga tower of bags I have in the corner here. On top is some Smart Foods white cheddar popcorn. Love me some popcorn. And these ones are individually wrapped, right, for my guys' lunches. I also got some jalapeno kettle cooked chips. These will actually be served alongside those steak sandwiches. So that'll be a tasty combination. And then of course we can eat the leftovers for lunch, right? Next up, I don't know how this guy managed. Oh, there it goes. It was a very oddly balanced bag. It may fall while I try to explain what I'm holding next, which is some cornbread mix. I picked this up just in case, because I was going to make chili for a little event, but of course we're not really hosting anybody right now, because one of the people who was going to come got a little cold, which hopefully is just a cold. So we'll eat that cornbread some other time, right? Next up, we've got some soft, scrubby pink sponges. The one that we have right now is still pretty usable, but because it's like a softer scrub pad, the actual scrubbing part has gotten all like pilly, like a shirt would. And it just kind of like, I don't know, it like squishes the food instead of scraping it. I'm not really a big fan of that. Next up, we have some almond butter, which is kind of an unusual purchase for me, right? But I have good reason to. Every holiday season, I make candies and chocolates and stuff, roasted nuts, that kind of thing. And I had tried a new recipe that's kind of like it's kind of like an all-natural Butterfinger, kind of. It's not quite the same snap, but it's still really, really delicious. But anyways, the recipe uses really simple, wholesome ingredients like peanut butter and honey and oddly enough, cornflakes. And it makes a really delicious candy bar. So I was thinking about it, and I was like, if I tweak that recipe a little bit, add in some nuts and fruit and things like that, it would be kind of like a decadent protein bar, right? So it's kind of actually pricey to get all the ingredients that I wanted for this experiment. But I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to make homemade. I guess protein bar wouldn't be the right word. Like energy bar, that might be more accurate, because it'll be a little high on the calories, but it'll have lots of good, vitamins and minerals in it. So I'm gonna try to make those for my guys' lunches. And to go in those bars, I bought something also new and extravagant. These are dried blueberries. So it's going to be a almond, blueberry, and pecan energy bar. They were like $7 a pound. But I imagine that I won't need all of those, so it should last me for a few batches. And hopefully a few good batches. Like, I hope there isn't like a bad experiment batch, but when you're tweaking the recipes and going off into the unknown, it is by definition the unknown. Anyways, let's see if I can't disentangle this bag next. That wasn't too bad. In here, if I can get it out delicately, we have some Triscuit cracked pepper flavor, which I think is pretty much our favorite, but we do like a lot of the other ones. And then this is another exciting homemade ingredient here, or ingredient for a homemade recipe. With my brand new food processor, I'm going to try to make my own hummus. Really nice hummus at the store can be anywhere from like $7 to like $12 for a container. And one of these cans is like 65 cents, even at the expensive Safe Mart. So that's going to be pretty exciting. Hopefully it's as easy to do as the recipe makes it look, because if it's a lot of work, I don't know. But what's really exciting is that if I'm making it from scratch, I can definitely tweak the flavors, and we love to play with the flavors in this household, right? So I can use all those fancy oils and spices, and it should be a lot of fun. Anyways, rounding out that bag, we've just got some plain old spaghetti. Might as well eat up all the spaghetti I can while it's still cold enough outside to do it. This week has been actually pretty warm. I have a calla lily that I keep indoors because the climate around here isn't really great for them to be outside. But because I keep him indoors, he never, since I've gotten him, has gone dormant for the winter. So I got it in my head that this week I was going to like shove him outside and make him cold. But the days have been too warm, right? We're getting up to like 50s, 60s, right? And then the nights have been below freezing. So I have to bring him back in. And he doesn't think it's winter. He's just happy to get all that fresh air and sunshine that's out there. And I know anyone out there who's like, just put it in the garage. I have no garage. We live in a little tiny 1-bedroom apartment. So there is no like cold cabinet to put him in. And unless he goes at least a little dormant, I can't, unpot him and put him in the refrigerator, which I was reading up is an option if they've already gone to sleep and you need to keep them asleep or extend it or whatever. You can take your bulbs and your rhizomes and stuff and stick them in your produce drawer. You have to take all the produce out though, because like apples can poison them, but or the gas that they emit is bad for them. Anyways, but I can't even get his leaves to go brown like all the way. My poor little calla baby just won't take his nap, and it makes me so sad. I might have to give up though, because trying to get him cold is not working, and I don't have a great dark space, so we'll see what I do about that. Anyways, let's move right along. We got some garlic parmesan shaker mix, and I also picked up some hatch chili shaker mix, so this one's new for me. I'll have to let you guys know how that one goes, but the garlic parmesan one I use all the time. Following that, we've got big heavy, oh my goodness, that's definitely heavy. And that was probably a dangerous way to pick it up, but I didn't want to make too much noise. But anyways, this is a 3-pack of marinara sauce for the spaghetti. Who knows though, if I enjoy my pizza sauce enough, maybe I'll take the next step and turn it into spaghetti sauce. So like I said, the main difference is that you just cook the tomatoes. There's a few other minor differences, like typically people tend to season spaghetti sauces more than pizza sauces, but it's pretty minor differences. And then we have big old container of avocado oil. I've been having a hard time getting the oil blend that I prefer. It has avocado, coconut, and safflower oil in it. And it's definitely hands down my favorite, this one particular brand, but for some reason it goes in and out of stock very quickly. So I guess it must be other people's favorite too. So I was tired of playing the like maybe later game, and I just got that big old thing of avocado. So that's still a pretty good oil. Anyways, the next item is some little tiny dill pickles. These are great little additions to lunchtime and sandwich time, even if that's not at lunch. And then we have, looks like, some coffee, finishing off that bag. Big old container of donut shop coffee, which basically means this is a ripoff of the Dunkin' Donuts flavor profile, right? And then, let's see here, I kind of buried it. Hiding right here in plain sight is a super duper impulse buy. This is a 12 days of wine calendar. Now obviously it is now past Christmas, so this guy was on sale for $10 off. It's like $30 something normally. And they aren't full size wine bottles, but they're still, I think they're like 2 servings in each one. And I know I didn't need it. I mean, who needs wine? If you say you need it, you might have a problem, right? But the whole idea of it, trying to get it on the right end here, was just so appealing because it's like a sampler. So each of the 12 bottles are a different type of wine. We have, and forgive me if I butcher some of these names, but we have a Cabernet Sauvignon, a Chardonnay, a Zinfandel, a Cabernet Syrah blend, a red blend, a Cabernet Merlot blend, a Pinot Noir, a Pinot Grigio, a sweet Riesling, a Sauvignon Blanc, a Merlot, just like a regular Merlot apparently, and a Rosé. So I saw this and I saw that it was discounted and I walked away, right? It's like, I don't need that. And I went and I did the rest of my shopping and I passed by it again. And I'm like, no, I don't need that. And it just so happened that I had forgotten something that was like kitty corner to the front of the store. So I had to go past it a third time and the way back. And on the way back, I looked at it and I'm like, I still want this darn box of wine. So yeah, it's kind of, it's still an expensive treat, even with the sale price, but it should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. So let's go ahead and move on to our cooler stuff that I just pulled out of my fridge that I will hopefully remember to turn back on. It's a noisy fridge and it's not good for videos, so I turn it off when I film. Anyways, first up is one lonely little bell pepper. That is for our steak sandwiches that I'm pretty sure at this point we're gonna have tonight because I bought a lot of ingredients for them. Speaking of, here's some provolone cheese. This is the best cheese, in my opinion, for steak sandwiches. Although, oddly, it's not my favorite cheese overall. I think I pretty much exclusively eat it when it's steak sandwich time. So, an odd thing about me. And then we've got one little baby thing of chicken. I'll definitely have to get more chicken before the end of the month, but I don't like the quality of the Sam's Club chicken. And Save Mart, again, expensive Mart, just, they have one like bargain brand chicken that's even worse than the Sam's Club one. And then everything else is super expensive. I don't know why their meats are so bad, but this is $7.49 a pound. And I can get good quality chicken at Winco for like $3.68, I think was the last price I paid for it. But I know, you know, laziness won out, so I got a little package of chicken. But that's okay. While I was at Sam's Club, I also picked up some beef because I don't have as many complaints about their beef selection as their chicken. So here's some top sirloins for, you know, the steak sandwiches, and maybe later on in the month I'll do some pepper steak. But just like an example of the price differences, typically, you know, steak would be the more expensive meat, right? That chicken was over $7, right? Basically $7.50. And the sirloin per pound was $5.98. Now I could probably go even cheaper than that if I wanted like some really scary cuts of meat, but you know, for decent quality steaks, cheaper than my chicken. But that's just because of the store differences, not my shopping ability, right? And then also, while I'm talking meat here, I got a nice big old block of ground beef at Sam's Club. It was $2.63 a pound, and this is 90% lean. Now, I actually kind of prefer a little more fat in my ground beef, but within the selections they had, the low fat, lean variety is preferable. It's kind of hard to explain because they have some that are like 80% lean, but they're in those like compressed cubes, and they never seem to cook right, even though it's supposed to be the same. I don't know. Maybe I'm just being weird because I don't like it when they squish them into the cubes. But as far as like fresh ground beef goes, they only had the 90%. But it'll be good. Anyways, we've got some jalapenos. Seems to be a constant, right? Jalapeno ranch. Oh no, I didn't get jalapeno. I must have misgrabbed. I was trying to go through the store pretty quick. So we have regular ranch. Boy, that's gonna be weird. I don't think we've had regular ranch in this apartment for like 6 months now or something. But maybe it'll be a good change of pace. And then finishing off that particular bag, we have a thing of sour cream. Next up, let's go ahead and do the stuff that's kind of floating around. If you are familiar with like Sam's Club or Costco or any of those wholesale type places, they don't give you bags. Mostly because a lot of their items would be too big for grocery bags anyways. So we have this giant thing of broccoli just hanging out. And then I have some half and half. I only pulled one of them because you only need to really see one, but I did purchase 4 of these. These little tiny ones, it weirds me out. The little ones are cheaper to buy than the full size half and half. So what can you do, right? And I'll go ahead and apologize for the barking dog. I would stop filming and just pick it back up later, but I'm actually running out of time to finish this up, and I need everything back in the refrigerator. So hopefully you can bear with it. The dog next door doesn't actually bark that often, but when he gets upset, usually when his owner is gone, he does. He is persistent for short bursts of time. Anyways, we have a super giant. Can you guess that this is a Sam's Club purchase? A super giant bag of carrots. I usually prefer to get the baby carrots, right? But because I'm going to be making that chicken stock and chicken noodle soup, I'm going to be going through a lot of carrots, so I decided I might as well just get the big old bag and peel them, because one of the nice things about a soup stock, right, if you simmer it on the stove, is you can take all the shavings and carrot tops and things that you wouldn't normally save, right, and you simmer them into the water, and you still end up throwing away all the leafy bits and everything, but it'll enhance the flavor of the broth. So we're definitely doing lots of homemade and resource efficient cookings. So on that same note, I got the Sam's Club pack of celery sticks to help round out the flavors of my soon-to-be homemade chicken noodle soup. And then finishing off this bag, there we are. We've got a big old thing of string cheese. Moving right along, we have some eggs, simple old eggs. No fascinating story to say there. Then we have some cabbage. I love me some sauteed cabbage. Must be those Polish roots. And then We have the broccoli to make the color. We have cauliflower, not broccoli. Cauliflower to make the pizza cauliflower casserole. And you know, I've said pizza cauliflower casserole enough times today to realize that the one ingredient I did forget was pepperonis. Man, it's not the same without pepperonis on top. What can you do? It's hard to remember everything. Even when you write a list, somehow it seems like things just pass me by. Anyways, oh, that's not good. This is a package of bacon, and it's not shrink wrapped as tightly as it should be. I'm wondering if I poked it. For those that don't do a lot of shopping, seeing the packaging kind of pull away like this sometimes is a sign that whoever stocked the shelves was in too much of a hurry and they used the box cutter on the bigger package of bacon, and so when it got cut it kind of opens a little air pocket. I don't see a cut though. I don't remember it being like that in the store, so I'm gonna hope. There it is. It's right here. I really hope that that's not bad. I'm super awkward about returns. I hate doing returns, especially on food items. I used to work in a grocery store, and the things that people would return sometimes was kind of insulting. And I just got a distaste for it. I'll probably open this up later today and just kind of sniff at it and look at it. Because maybe I'm overreacting. This is not the brand that I normally buy, right? Because I didn't go all the way to Winco. And it could just be that they package theirs looser, because I can't seem to find the hole. Although it really seems like there's got to be one. Well, anyways, I'm running out of time. I can't stare at the bacon all day. But yeah, I hate when I get box cutter stuff, and I'm usually good about not buying the box cutter stuff, but it happens sometimes. Anyways, we've got some little baby sticks of salted butter. I actually have like a jumbo pack of unsalted butter. You know, I was doing a lot of baking over the holiday season, so I just bought, gosh, it's something like 8 pounds. It's a lot of plain old unsalted butter. And I was like, that'll be fine. I'll just use unsalted butter for all of the things, right? But man, when you're like buttering bread, you really want that salt in there. It's just not the same. So I got those, but I'm gonna try to supplement. They're little tiny sticks, so I'm only gonna use them for like toast and stuff. Anyways, wrapping up that bag, we have some good old-fashioned lemons. Make me some lemon water. Okay, we are now down to the freezer stuff, which means frozen vegetables, of course. Not quite as many. This is one of the things where the Save Mart is like way more expensive. I can usually get a bag about this size at Winco for about $1. Sometimes it's $1.28. And at Save Mart, these were like $2.25. So, I mean, it's like, oh, only $1. But when you buy as many as I usually buy, that adds up real fast. So, I only got a few. We've got a regular old stir-fry vegetables. This has broccoli, sugar snap peas, green beans, carrots, celery, water chestnuts, onions, and red peppers. We also got the asparagus stir fry, which has asparagus, believe it or not, carrots, green beans, cauliflower, yellow squash, celery, onions, and mushrooms. And then finally, we have the Asian blend, which is green beans, broccoli, onions, and mushrooms. And then we've got 2 more bags of vegetables. These are from Sam's Club, so they're much larger. This is a big old bag of riced cauliflower. And then I also have a big old bag of zucchini and squash spirals. So each of these are kind of good. Usually if I make something that's really carb heavy, like spaghetti, I'll swap out some of my noodles for zucchini. Or if I'm making like, sometimes when I make tacos, I'll make myself a rice bowl instead of a hard taco. And I'll use the cauliflower rice, as a bed for all the meats and toppings and stuff. Just to kind of cut out some of the calories. I definitely put on a few pounds over the holidays, but nothing that I haven't lost before. So I'm feeling optimistic that I will get back on track in time for my rescheduled wedding, which isn't until October, so there's a little bit of time. And with that, we're at the end of our video. So shout out to Dulce Crystals, Victasia K, many of you guys comment and have wished me a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. So same back to you guys. I hope that your 2021 is even better than your 2020, regardless of how good it is. If the bar's low, then it might be easy to be a better year, but I think there's a few people out there that had a good year. I don't know. But this one's gonna be good. I have a feeling. So, anyways, that's all for now. Talk to you later. Bye bye.